Cheryl Peterson, and this is a sermon that I delivered titled, Who I Am Not. The notorious question, who am I, has been around a long time. Many of us spend a lifetime finding ourselves, and it can be satisfying, but it can also be tricky. 4 years ago, Doug, my husband, and I moved from Washington State to New York State. We sold our farm, our house, and decided, hey, let's get rid of it all. It took us a year. Tractors, furniture, the piano, our children, all of it sold off to the highest bidder. Okay, the children were off on their own after graduating college, but during this experience of getting rid of everything, I had the chance to see who I am not. I am not my stuff. It took a lot of years to acquire that stuff, and most of the items seemed necessary to learn who I am. I needed the stuff to manifest my creativity, my health, and my joy. For example, I needed the art supplies to be creative. But oddly, when all of the things were gone, I still knew myself. I can still be creative. It hasn't been easy, this big change, but the shift in where my attention is focused has caused me to unlearn things about myself that were beginning to ground me in a rut, even if it was a comfy rut. And by learning who I am not, I am relearning who I am. Quite often, other people tell me who I am. Growing up, I heard, "You are Cheryl. You are a farmer's daughter." During my teenage years, I took those comments and made them my own. They evolved into, I am a tractor operator, and eventually I am a farmer's wife. But do other people's comments make me? Do skills define me? Or does knowledge make me who I am? Management thinker Peter Drucker wrote in his book, The Daily Drucker, "In today's society and organizations, people work increasingly with knowledge rather than with skill. Knowledge and skill differ in that skills change very, very slowly. Knowledge, however, changes itself. It makes itself obsolete, and very rapidly. I have an example. I remember when it was time for our family to get a new car. The obvious answer was to get a model one step bigger than the car we had, since our kids were bigger, and we always seemed to have a third kid thrown into the mix. So the girls and I went car shopping. It was all a big adventure. While test driving a bigger car, I was paying attention to visibility and features, and the girls were in the back seat looking around at all the space. I could see their mental gears kick into action, and they soon said, "Mom, we should get a smaller car." I was mortified. I was so busy paying attention to visibility that I had been distracted from even giving attention to such a notion. Anyway, a smaller car would not represent who I am, someone whose life is getting bigger, right? Not really, I finally admitted. I quickly realized it was only my pride that was mortified, and the old knowledge was then obsolete. We bought a smaller car. It got better gas mileage, and I could easily drive into all of those compact parking spaces popping up all over. I have a book out titled 21st Century Science and Health. We read, "Thought is attracted toward God, and as a result, superficial knowledge and the body do not become distractions. As we understand God, we understand who we are." Have you ever counted how many times during the day we say, "I am"? I am cold. I'm happy. I'm hungry. I am healed. I am a New York taxpayer. I am spiritual. And because I am a Bible reader, I've noticed this "I am" cliche goes way back. Now, I don't believe God wrote the Bible. It's basically a conglomeration of insights and experiences written by human beings and generally focused on God instead of technology or the money market. And the stories in the history give me pause for consideration. For example, in the book of Genesis, there are two brothers. Esau is the oldest and Jacob is the youngest. When their dad Isaac was on his deathbed, He wanted to bless Esau before he died. Isaac tells Esau, "Please, go hunting and bring me back some food to eat. Then I will give you your blessing." Esau agrees. I'm paraphrasing the Bible here, but Isaac is blind, and his wife Rebekah was eavesdropping. Now, Rebekah favored Jacob. In other words, her attention was pivoted on Jacob. She grabbed Jacob and said, "Jacob, take this food I made and go to your dad and tell him you are Esau. Then get Esau's blessing." Jacob hesitated, not because this was a really bad idea, but because he sees a flaw in his mother's plan. "Mom, Esau is hairy. I have smooth skin. What if Dad touches my skin?" "Oh, here, put this sheepskin on you," says Mom. So Jacob, covered in sheepskin, goes to his dad with the food, but Isaac gets suspicious when he hears, "Hey, Dad." Isaac questions, "You don't sound like Esau. Are you really Esau?" "I am," fibs Jacob. Hindsight tells us the better answer would have been, "I am not." Even though it looked like the plan worked, it didn't, because for the next few decades, Jacob kept getting lied to and cheated by other people, until finally Jacob admitted internally, "I am not a liar, a thief, or an outcast." He had a little talk with God, and life improved once Jacob removed from his consciousness that which he is not. Do I have little talks with God to find out who I am and who I am not? Sure. Here's a typical conversation. "God, what's with the graying hair? Does my worrying bring on the gray hair, or is it because of my genetic code?" "What? I am not my worries? I am not my DNA? I can't even reason this through. If an organ recipient receives a kidney from someone else, there will be a difference of DNA, but the recipient still has the same identity. Or, not to be morbid, but when the body dies, the DNA that I thought was me will still be lying around here on Earth for years, but my consciousness won't. So, I am not this body? I am not my brain imprints? I am not my mortal history and habits? I am the image and likeness of Divine Spirit. I am structured and outlined by intelligent mind. I am conscious of colorful love. Moreover, my consciousness of Divine Spirit is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Yahweh was projected to say, "I am that I am." I am the reflection of Spirit, the same yesterday, today, and forever. Our spiritual identity, including all that belongs to the divine infinite, is not dependent on this human mortal life. We've all been around those who have a spiritual consciousness. We even experience spiritual consciousness, but the human mind will throw a hard ball or feed us something that makes us choke and gag and forget our spiritual state, until we realize what we are choking on is like ice cream. It melts. What we are not and who we are not melts. As we realize who we are not, spit it out or swallow it, let it come out the other end. Don't hold on to it. And answer the question, who am I, with, I am whole. I am spiritually the same yesterday, today, and